So I said, would you just describe
Steve
this?
would know this too.
We're all
Right?
Yeah.
In one place.
Look at this.
Abby.
You're live.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. We're here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, at the Blockchain Event East, major technology show that brings together potential investors, strategic partners, and at least 500 different major Fortune 1000 companies looking to find out how they're going to enter into this burgeoning market that we're calling Web 3.0. So happy to be here. This is a first that we're live on the scene at a major event. For today, we do have a major announcement. And before I give you that announcement, I'm going to go through some housekeeping and legalities. Ladies and gentlemen, the statements, opinions, and analyses presented in today's AMA are provided as general information only. Opinions, estimates, probabilities expressed are merely currently a snapshot of today's disposition and market. While all the information prepared in today's presentation we believe to be accurate, the presenters and hosts make no express guarantee as to the completeness or accuracy of the information shared. Any information contained therein are forward-looking statements not to be considered, but simply estimations and opinion of the day. And please do not define any as projected earnings, profits, or investment advice for making buying decisions. Now that we've taken care of our attorneys, I'm really excited to introduce to you all, if you're brand new, my colleagues and friends, starting to my far right, a senior advisor, an expert within the crypto market, and one of our most trusted subject matter experts, Mr. Steve Heck.
Hi, how you doing?
And to the left of Steve, our co-founder, CEO, Rick Gilchrist. And next to me, to my right, this good, handsome looking devil of a man, his name is Sean Crawford. Sean was the founder of WeGro Coin and current president and CEO of WeGro Coin. And Sean, say hi.
Hey guys. Good to see you.
And last but not least, our marketing guru, co-founder, chief experience and marketing officer, my dear friend, Walt Rampata.
Good afternoon, everybody.
So we're going to start today with covering a couple of exciting announcements. And before we do that, I just want you to all know that today really is focused on one pure objective. And Walt's going to share that with us. We've been waiting a long time to make this announcement. So Walt, why don't you take us away?
Outstanding. Thank you, Todd. Again, as Todd noted, this is the first AMA where we're coming live to you from one of the conferences that we've been attending. We're very excited. We're here ahead of time. Our CEO, Mr. Rick Gilchrist, gave a talk yesterday afternoon about the transition between Web 3.0 and the future, and where that benefits or potentially can have pitfalls for businesses. It was a very well attended session yesterday afternoon. And then we got here obviously a little bit earlier today. You know, people are still setting up, so we're waiting for the actual exhibit show for it to open up this afternoon. But prior to that happening, we wanted to come to you with something that we've been working on very diligently in the background. One of our key things for WeGro has been to be involved with our community and be as forward-facing and as transparent as we possibly can. And to that extent, we've talked a great deal over the course of our last AMAs about the roadmap that we have here at WeGro. And so very specifically, one of the things that we've talked about is our blockchain that we are developing in the background. So we are very excited today to talk to you about the progress that we've made with our blockchain, where it stands, where we are positioning it to assist the marketplace. So this is big news for us in many regards. This is a major lift for us as an organization, and additionally provides a lot of capabilities to our customers, to our constituents, and to our partners. So we're very excited about this. And without any further ado, I'm going to pass the mic over to the two brains in many ways behind our Hyperledger and seeing it through to the future, Mr. Sean Crawford and Mr. Rick Gilchrist.
Thanks, Walt. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Exciting stuff. What can we say? This is a lot of work in the making, a lot of planning, and we're finally at the point where we can discuss with you now the new abilities of our layer 2 blockchain. So, I guess first and foremost is it finally creates a true interoperability where others have failed to deliver in a scalable speed or reduce cost. We're going to be able to address both of those things with our new blockchain. And to get a little bit more specific, Rick Gilchrist, let's just talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so our level 2 blockchain is going to focus primarily on compliance and payment solutions to start. We're actually building our own applications directly on the system as well. That'll include a borderless payment solution. In addition to that, our consumer application, which will be underneath the label of WeGro Link, will be a part of our phase 2 rollout, and that'll be directly to the consumer side. In addition, we've talked about this and alluded to the development for the past 6 months, but our Chrome extension and D app will also be located on that L2 blockchain as well. And this is truly a 4th generation L2. It's going to allow for crossover capability with 16 other systems. It is going to be completely agnostic, but will allow for speed as well as ease of use and getting commercial clients directly on the blockchain using it on day one, and not day one of it being live, but day one of implementation. And that's what's really key, is that we'll be able to have organizations on the blockchain the same day they sign up. They'll be able to realize real utility out of it, out of the box. And whether we're talking about just the compliance side, risk assessment, the bodies and resources that are associated with those business capabilities, as well as the logic. And we are excited to also announce that we've got 3 pilots, one specifically heavily rooted in the CAM industry, that'll be utilizing this for compliance and risk assessment, in addition to a rollout of a payment solution that we've been talking about for, well, since day one.
Yeah.
Now this is a hybrid, both public and private blockchain. So we'll have the ability to launch either one of those for customers. This is not something that's currency dependent, or it can be. It's a feature that can be either turned on, turned off, or utilized or not utilized within that either private or public blockchain. But from day one, though, we'll be able to start aggregating data and start being able to utilize that and see it in a meaningful way, and be able to link that data back to the originator, to the owner, to you. So so I guess today's the day that data sovereignty on the blockchain is here, and it makes me feel good. It feels really good to say it. So just great job to the team.
Absolutely.
And we have to give credit where credit's due. This wouldn't be happening without the massive efforts of AJ Jagori, Sekou Bamba on our data and blockchain side. It takes a team. We've got a pretty deep bench now, and we've been heavily reliant on us collaborating with those partners.
We'd be remiss not to mention one of our technology partners.
Yep, Kiwi Tech. We get a major shout out to Kiwi Tech with Ike and Pallavi and their team.
Yep.
They've been integral in making sure we stay on track. And even as of today, we got through another sprint, and we're 2 weeks away from one of our another announcement.
Fantastic. Rick, I'm going to ask you a couple questions. When someone visiting today's AMA for the first time might be asking, okay, I hear blockchain as a service. I hear phase 2, the consumer portion of our platform. There's 4 value propositions that I've heard you eloquently deliver across many AMAs, Walt, Sean, AJ alike. Talk about those value propositions. Talk about how hyper-touring is a game changer, starting with enterprise.
Sure. I mean, we can look at this a couple different ways, and we're kind of distilling it for our MVP and for our pilots. Really focusing on the idea that this will sit in as a compliance layer, something that it won't interfere with daily operations. And that's what's really important, is that we want to make sure our partners and our clients and the people we're providing a service to have 0 interruption. The idea is that we maintain that 99.999% uptime. We're creating that immutable record for them, but more importantly, because we're doing this hybrid, we'll be able to open and close those doors to the data that's also being stored. And we are going hand in hand with them to establish the business logic for what's being stored on chain versus what's being stored off chain. And in the CAM industry, it's highly, highly regulated. We've got a lot of compliance issues, and we also have HIPAA as well. So the ability to gather that data, consolidate the data, collect it in the proper manner that is going to be compliant with CCPA, GDPR, HIPAA, PCI, and all of that in one ecosystem is probably the biggest tenet we can really focus on right now. So that application out of the box is, that core tenet.
And let's be clear,
Yeah.
that when it comes to the CAM industry, that tenant is a major challenge for the industry. We've talked about this a few times on our AMAs, but specific to the payment compliance piece, 95% of all transactions that are happening within the CAM marketplace today are happening in a cash transaction perspective, which makes it very difficult in many ways to have oversight, to have visibility and accountability throughout the entire payment chain. And additionally, to have that understanding post-purchase to be able to help provide additional insight into how you're positioning your next purchase with those particular customers. And those pieces specifically when it comes to cannabis have been a major obstacle, have been a major challenge. And the ever-changing regulations that face this industry have also been a part of this. Let's face it, some of the options that have been available to this industry to date by way of pinless ATM transactions are going away. So even further, the regulations are continuing to unfold and change in front of us, but the payment and the compliance pieces that we have integrated and are focusing on specifically out of the gate and solving for CAM are future-proof in recognizing these challenges and where things are going.
And so operationally, will that help a large dispensary chain, as an example, manage expectations, follow the trends, purchasing patterns, and allow them to?
It goes back to the data that's collected, so it has immediate use to that. Because in the manner of all this compliance we're talking about, we're collecting a ton of data. Whether it's a point of sale, it's inventory management, there's a lot of data there that can be used and now validated. And once you have validation, proof of origin, the provenance of that data, now it's really usable. It's not that net data that you're getting out of that relational database. You don't know why it was there. Now you know each one of those steps. So being able to know how many of a certain product, the form factors, tying it back to the purchasing behaviors, whether you're looking at the patient side or the consumer side, you're more accurately able to predict what the dispensary is going to buy themselves and the type of people that are coming in and what product they're going to purchase. This starts going down the other way on the supply chain now. It starts influencing where they're getting their products, the brands, what's going in the ground. What we'll go on about is how Scott's Miracle Grow can put together a better combination of nutrients for the soil to enrich the right strain that will eventually become an edible or a pre-roll.
And so what I'm hearing, just from the speed alone, Rick and Walt and Sean, we're able to not only aggregate the data, but the data will be able to inform our client how to make actionable decisions. We're going to be able to do it faster. We're going to be able to do it at a reduced cost. And we're going to have the transparency and the ability to verify that data on the blockchain. And being that the data on the blockchain is immutable, you've also increased or reduced your security risk. You've increased your compliance, and you've done it completely integrated and in one data universe that cannot be hacked or touched or removed. Would you agree with that?
I would say in theory, I agree with it. It's tamper evident, not tamper proof.
Understood.
Yes, it could take years and years to years using quantum computing to break through something like that. But even the way we're storing the data, we can store all this data in 3 servers or 100 servers. It would take somebody hacking into every single one of those to create one record. That's what becomes a little more of a value add to that. That security layer is a great blanket, but when it comes back to like the CAM industry, one of the biggest fears is getting audited. It's the fines associated with, a HIPAA violation, fines associated with, having too much inventory, not, your inventory's off completely, or payments for, guess what, IRS,
Because it's a mutable source, the information going in, you'll always see record of any changes that happen within the system. So if somebody wrongly inputted, a certain amount of one product into the system, if they're going to go in and change that, now there's that record of that change. So it provides a layer of transparency that's just not there currently in the game industry.
So there's always naysayers and skeptics and cynics out there. We're the first, in essence, to create the world's first level 2 blockchain as a service, a level 2 hybrid version of that. If you were playing devil's advocate,
you got to add that at a reduced cost, because there
100%.
are solutions out there, but they're really, really expensive. Even some of the people we talked to yesterday that are currently using blockchain as a service, they're in the millions of dollars, and 2 months to 2 years to implement what they need to. So for us, we're taking this off in bite-sized chunks, focusing primarily on the compliance aspect of this first, risk, then payment processing, and then we can start expanding that out.
Well, just like we saw in the tech space over the last 10 years, when you think of server blocks and networking infrastructure, AWS came in essence, bulldozed the industry away and allowed for an ease of use storage as a service. So one can almost equate that we're becoming the AWS of blockchain for something that's easy, subscribable, and
it's a great comparison, but I don't want to give the notoriety AWS. But yes,
that's stunning in itself. So going back to my point about devil's advocate, if you were a devil's advocate, what is the one challenge that you would ask of this outfit called WeGro Data?
This is where I would step in. The one thing that I think really distinguishes us as besides the tech that we're building is the team. And it's not just those that are sitting here at this table. It's not just those that we previously mentioned that are in our support structure. It's those that are continuing to be added to the team, and the notoriety and the stature and the level of knowledge that they bring to the table. So what I would say is, not only is the distinguishing factor the service and utility that we will provide to the industry, but additionally, there is a team backing this up that has substantial industry experience in multiple layers. Rick, do you want to talk about some of the recent additions we've made to our team?
I think it's because we have such a nuanced roadmap, and why we're putting the right people in place now. Adding Dr. Randy Lee to the team just really opened up a lot of opportunities for us, not only with a very well-renowned teaching hospital located in Washington, D.C., but also the application of point of care, and whether that's through telemedicine or asynchronous care or in-person care, that applies to all this health and wellness. And whether you're looking at it at an application, you're doing it through a web browser, or you're doing it over the phone, you still have to verify a lot of that, or you're working, out of country, you're making sure that the person on the other end of the line and sharing this very sensitive data, that's all protected. And this gives us an ability to verify those calls, verify patient information, and, create that, chain of data from point A to point Z between, a doctor and the patient. And for what we're doing in the CAM industry, that's especially important for people getting medical marijuana cards now. The state of Virginia right now is also reporting the information now associated with those cards directly through NIDA. That's a big deal, because if we're now seeing traditional doctors see that the pain medications that they're prescribing, the opioid pain medications, could also be prescribed to somebody also on a cannabis-based product, or doing ketamine treatments, or also using psilocybin. So we can avoid a lot of pitfalls associated with blending of traditional medicine and alternative medicine.
So just to clarify, that that was Dr. Randy Lee. He's joining our team as our CMO, our Chief Medical Officer. That we're just as excited about this as some of the other announcements today for obvious reasons. Understanding our focus on complementary alternative medicine, this builds out the breadth of experience on our team and substantiates some of the use cases and challenges that we're facing in a completely different light. So we're very excited about Randy joining our team.
Absolutely. And the $100,000 question is, what does this all mean for the WeGro token? Sean.
Well, yeah, that's a great topic. So I know that everyone out there is wondering, what does all this mean? So we've been doing a lot of thinking there on how this can benefit WeGro the most. Now we have the ability to launch this in a way that would give the most benefit to WeGro, to the ecosystem. So what we want to do, well, two things. First, one, in terms of the exchange run-up. So nothing's changed. We are still doing the run-up. We still have executed contracts waiting for a little bit of the storm to subside and a little bit more money to start going back into the crypto, into the space in general. And as that happens, we will be executing on the agreements we already have in place, as well as adding those to what is now potentially going to be a new ICO. So we could launch a WeGro coin blockchain and just have it sit there, and any CAM company that wants to come and build on that block, they'd have the ability to do that. But we foresee something so much larger for WeGro. Something so much larger for every one of you that believed in us since the beginning. And in order to maximize that potential, we want everything to be able to build on this block, because the data that you're going to be able to pull from normal transactions that you're doing, whether you're at the pump or in the grocery store or wherever you may be, all that information coming into the ecosystem can benefit every project that builds on the new blockchain. And so we marketing guy, am I allowed to say the name, or are we holding that?
Oh, please.
Oh, hey, the patents are in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's make it happen.
So the name of the new blockchain is Hyper-Turing. So Hyper-Turing is a permissive data blockchain that will allow users to accumulate and monetize eventually their data within the ecosystem. So anyone who can benefit from building on that blockchain will benefit WeGro. So the more people that build on the blockchain, the larger amount that the WeGro price would have the potential to go up. So WeGro, we see as being the first token on the Hyper-Turing blockchain. So rather, and we'll get into that in a later AMA, what that'll mean in terms of whether we'll fork or whether, you won't have to do anything. We're leaning towards it where you won't have to do anything, and a possible bridge. Well, again, that'll be a later AMA when we'll kind of get into the minutia of that. But what we want to do is give the WeGro community the largest potential for growth, and that is to build on the WeGro token as the first token on the Hyper-Turing blockchain. So, and then also give every one of you an opportunity to participate in Hyper-Turing. So, more about the details there later, but at least kind of give you guys a little bit of an idea of what's to come and what to expect, and how we're doing everything we can to make sure that the original WeGro community is that the largest amount of potential can come from the new blockchain and what we're doing there. So,
Well, this is a seminal moment for the company. And staying on topic regarding the crypto marketplace, I'd like to hand the mic over to Steve and talk about, from a vantage point of forecasting and watching the trends and seeing the movement with some of the exchanges and a lot of talk, sometimes almost too much talk, where you have competing opinions about where the industry is going. Could you shed your insights? I know this is what you do for a living, day in, day out, not only as a trader, but as an advisor. Yes.
Yeah. So basically, you're asking what I see, how long it's going to be until everything starts turning around, or
Yeah,
All the above.
all of the above. Yeah. From
I mean,
Steve's
What's your
vantage
crystal
point.
ball?
Yeah, I'd say given the forecast that we were talking about the other day.
yeah, you know, I got first. I remember telling Sean that I was really excited when Bitcoin ended up hitting that 20K mark, and I kept telling him that I could feel that 17 or 16.99 would be its lowest point and start working its way up. So when it hit that 16.9 whatever, I was so excited because now at this point we're basically going to be starting to move up. We're going to be hitting that probably around 36 point, and then Bitcoin will pull back again. We'll probably be seeing the last time of the next pullback, and then we'll start moving and breaking that 36,000 point. And a lot of people already understand what that means. That means that very good things for all the altcoins and everything on, in crypto
Yeah.
alone.
Yeah.
So that with everything that I see working out and when it's going to be good is almost perfect timing for, the blockchain and everything coming out. So I couldn't be more excited or ecstatic about the whole thing.
Yeah, to your point though, that's when altcoin season kind of comes in.
Right.
When a lot of liquidity is being put into Bitcoin and Ethereum and Binance, you see a lot of action in a lot of the altcoins. So that's when you can expect to see a lot more action too, with people putting money in the WeGro and other places. So again, these are all forecasts based on analysis that we've done. So we encourage you to do your own research. Obviously these are testament statements, but just from a personal standpoint, I the problems that Steve and I work out, I trust his opinion more than most, and they tend to play out pretty close to correct from what I've seen. And so I would expect, I agree with what you said. I could expect to see hopefully some sunny days here ahead.
Yeah, I have a feeling that it'll end up being just before summer's over that we'll start getting that run up,
Yeah.
or the month after.
Yeah.
I think no later than the month after the end of the summer.
Yes.
And many of you guys may not know, but Steve's actually been one of our main points of contact with the exchanges and has been working through a lot of the contracts that we've been doing with the exchanges, and is now working on some of the new ICO exchange work that he's been doing, and coupling that with WeGro token. So we're just so you guys know, from our standpoint, anytime that we can attach to and launch to, meaning Hyperturn and WeGro coin or WeGro token on a new exchange, we can do them both at the same time. We're going to try to do that. We'll be cross promoting both the ICO and the new token, and we'll talk about that probably on another AMA, because probably running a little shy on time now.
Yep. And on that note, I want to make it abundantly clear that WeGro is not sitting back, waiting for something to happen in the market before we take action. And to that end, I want to turn the mic over to Walt, because Walt, I'd love for you to share how we're now beginning to propagate and what we have planned going forward. We have some exciting new members of the team. I think we've mentioned in one of the last AMAs, who's now rising up with an opportunity to help our on the trench, help our community become more sophisticated in the world of crypto, meaning Joe Brown.
Mm-hmm.
We have a huge initiative that we were just discussing this morning that you've been working on with your team and Abby. So maybe talk about how we're propagating, how we're being proactive, and what levers you're about to pull to help push forward the messaging around the token and the product.
Great, thanks for that setup. No, there's a lot that's happening, obviously, besides all the development work that we're doing to move the company forward. There's a lot that we're doing to help position the company for success into the future. Some of that has been a reshifting of our internal marketing structure. So we've done a lot of things internally to refocus our organization and get laser focused to the objectives that we've got within the next 30, 60, and 90 days. We have some very clear objectives that we would wish to obtain from a new early adopter and partner perspective, and gaining new clients and having additional customers move into our fold. So there's an extreme focus in the near to very short term for us as an organization to push very heavily on revenue generating opportunities and our customer pipeline. So a lot of our efforts are going to be focused on driving that position of our business. Additionally, we've got obviously a major lift that's going to be happening with the transition of our coin to token and our ICO and the exchange run up. So we're coordinating all those efforts so that number one, we're being proactive to our community and voicing what's coming at you. So as Sean had alluded to, there's some details we're still working out internally, but to be proactive, we're giving you the heads up now and saying, hey, it's coming. And in our next AMA that we come back at you with, we'll give you those details. So to that point, we're also being trying to do our best to help the community overall. You know, one of the challenges that we've recognized in the crypto universe in general, but additionally when it comes to WeGro, is the understandings and knowledge surrounding DeFi, crypto, and digital currencies in general. And so there's in that learning curve, we've come to recognize we can assist. So in that regard, we are starting a whole slew of focused sessions that will be helping educate our consumer populace. So we're going to be holding a power hour coming up the first week in July. That Friday will be our first Friday. It'll be an open invitation to anybody looking to learn or understand or has questions about crypto. It's a non-threatening, come as you are type of setting where we're going to be providing those skills and knowledge and how to traverse this burgeoning industry, but also help digest that for your own usage and understanding how to better your own position within the decentralized universe. So in addition to all that, we also have a lot of efforts that are going to be focused on driving new adoption as we go through this exchange process and the transitions with our Hyperledger. So a lot of things that are going to be happening in the background to continue to keep our community engaged, to keep new members coming into the fold and to assist them with that journey and educating them. And then additionally, very focused as an organization to drive business and revenue to the early adopters and clients that we're looking to assist most readily within the CAM marketplace. So a lot is coming at us. We're very excited about all that. And like Todd said, we're not sitting here idle. There's obviously a lot of things that are happening on a day-to-day basis.
Thanks, Walt. No, that was wonderful. And
Todd, if I might,
absolutely.
I think the idea of us being thought leaders and bringing in outside people, it should be definitely noted that we're bringing in some really key advisors that are coming from world financial politics, bringing people that are heads of industry, not just in blockchain, but in finance, consumer industry, Canatech, Camtech, health tech on top of that, because we do want to be agnostic, but we also want to make sure that we're collecting the information that people are concerned about. You know, like I know that some of the questions we've been getting are, if you're going to have your own blockchain, well, how does that differ from what you're doing in finance? You know, that's a big question that a lot of people have. Well, if finance doesn't go down, does that mean you're no longer going to go down against, you know, what's happening with finance if you're on your own blockchain? So these are all things that we're collecting and making sure that we're able to kind of address those because there's all that fear, uncertainty, doubt that Sean always talks about around how's this going to affect me? How's it going to affect the coin? Am I going to have 2 coins now? All those types of things. And it's kind of key. And this is why Steve and Sean are really running through not only the tokenomics, but how it's going to be affected.
Yeah. And you know, trying to get the perspective of you guys, the community as well. So we've actually taken a little bit of time and reached out to some members there in the community to see how they felt, what was the best transition for them. And I think that we found a great solution that is going to benefit everyone to the maximum potential that it can. And so I think that's what's best for all.
Absolutely. And just to piggyback on what Rick and Sean just said, you've all heard and we all know that our focus is CAM. In addition, we've been taking steps to build out use case studies and justification for other industries. So while we begin with CAM and our tunnel vision is CAM, and Rick, you may want to talk about this. There's a
tunnel vision. I'd say a North Star.
Yeah.
And the CAM adjacent is what's come out of this already.
Yep.
Working with governments outside of the U.S., looking at local as well.
Yep.
Meetings we had yesterday specifically with working with the city and municipal governments on top of that within CAM. So it's giving us a lot of opportunities because we're not just focusing on a clinic or a dispensary or a processor. It's the entire ecosystem that's surrounding it and also supporting it. And what's supporting it is ancillary industry that's coming from Fortune 100 companies, right? It's coming from federalized programs. It's coming from these the software solutions as well, right? And when you're supporting a point of sale or an ERP that's supporting the industry, it's just as important as that direct contact.
absolutely. Where I was going with that is we talked also about the second part of CAM where we're getting into traditional healthcare, payers, providers, the ability to aid in so many different parts, as you just alluded to, the ecosystem beyond CAM. So it's enormous. It's limitless is the point I'm making. And it's what we all get up for every day. And we look at an opportunity to actually impact people's lives. So it's not just about how are we helping enterprise save money, aggregate data faster, improve security, provide governance and compliance all in one fell swoop, but solutions to these issues will actually impact the individual.
It'll address solutions across multiple platforms.
Yes.
Multiple industries.
And I want to stress Rick's point about North Star.
Yeah.
There is a lot of potential for where we're heading. The vision that we have for this organization as a team is much grander than our, this initial focus. But true to everything else that we've done to date, that visibility, that transparency, the team that's visible and doxed up, for us, it's about continuing to demonstrate our ability to execute. And so this initial focus is building on the core expertise of the team and showing exactly how we can utilize this to solve immediate real world problems for a group of customers. And from there, proving out, and again, showing that we can do what we say we can do, then it's very easy to go and say, okay, these ideas that we have of grandeur and the utility that this can really provide to humanity, now we can demonstrate to you, hey, look, we've already done it once here. We can replicate that and do that in multiple industries and different adjacent ways.
Fast onboarding and
We don't want to get into the professional services industry.
Right.
So it's so accurate because if you look at just the cannabis industry, the projections are 28 billion in the next couple of years. That's a great number. If you look at the overall sector, on the low side, it's $2.72 trillion. And that's the LOHA sector, the lifestyle of health, wellness, and sustainability, which CAM is part of. That goes up to over $3 trillion when you incorporate all of the alternative medicine platforms and the providers and solutions providers that are touching that industry. That's a huge number. A lot of people think of, million, billion, trillion, it's just 1 0. No. We're talking many, many more zeros. We can fill this room with $1 trillion. So putting it in perspective, it's a Herculean effort and a huge, huge marketplace. So that's why we are staying extremely focused right now.
Well said. I'm so excited about what's around the corner, which is getting the place where we're scaling and replicating the types of clients that we're currently onboarding right now. Is there anything else you want to talk about, Rick, when it comes to our O2 market plan?
No.
You mentioned Herculean already. That's pretty much the
It
extent.
is. I'm excited about the early adopters. We had a lot of people that have come directly to us because they've heard about this. It's been socialized. We've been looking at small, medium, and large cap and understanding how we can put that into the pipeline.
Well, I think the reason why they came so easy is because we're addressing critical needs right now. And I think that's been the greatest benefit and the reason for our early success.
Absolutely. Well, we'd love to hear from you, community. We'd love for you to reach out to us at info@wegrow.com. That's info@wegro.com. We'd love to hear from you. And if you're also thinking about collaborating and you're thinking about an opportunity to partner with us, that would mean yourself as well. We are about collaboration. We're about considering the possibilities. And on that note, Rick, would you like to add
I'd say
anything to that?
if questions want to come in, I do it to the info@wegrocoin.com. Be a little bit
Did I
easier
just
for
create a
everybody.
brand new URL for the
I think
company?
you might.
All right.
We don't have that redirect there yet.
Rewind.
But-
Too much Red Bull. As you can see, we're not sponsoring Monster, but there's a lot of that going on around here, guys. So info@wegrocoin.com. That's info@wegrocoin.com.
And we have Abby, who's been supporting us the entire time, right behind us, also taking
Yay,
questions
Abby.
in from our various socials. So send them our way. Happy to get to them.
And for those that know our individual email addresses, feel free to reach out. And well, you have the last words.
Last words are, as we're all very excited to be at this show and coming to you live in the middle of all of this energy. We're hoping that you're taking some of this energy through the screen and digesting it yourself. We are extremely excited about the progress that we've made, the things that we've accomplished over the recent months, the team members that are jumping on board, and where we're heading. So I just want to leave this on a high note and saying continued thanks.
I've got a higher note for you to leave on. Let's talk about Thursday.
Oh, hey, that's a great higher note to end on. For those of
Something about
our
cultivating.
community that are in the Southern Florida area this week, we would love for you to join us. Or if you've got friends that you know are in this area that would be interested in talking further about blockchain, about Web 3.0 and what it could mean for their industry and their business, we are having a very exclusive event this Thursday evening. Please reach out to us through our info@WeGrowCoin with an email saying question about Thursday night event, and we will reply back to you. We would love to have you join us. This event is one that will be one for the record books. We're getting a lot of really interesting people together, a lot of friends that we've established over the years, interestingly enough, from all of our backgrounds. We all have some interesting and varied backgrounds in multiple different industries. So we've got a number of people from the record label industry and the music industry that will be attending this event. We have a lot of sports icons and athletes that will be attending this event. And those are kind of some of the obvious consumer fun favorites that will be there. But additionally, we have a lot of really incredible industry titans, gentlemen and ladies who have traversed their own journey in establishing their own companies that we're also very excited will be joining us for this Thursday. So again, if you're in the area, you know somebody who's in the area and you would love to join us, we'd love to have you come, especially if you're already a holder of WeGrow Coin. Please reach out. We will make sure that if you're already a holder of WeGrow Coin, the event will be on us, and we'll send you a special code to register as a member of WeGrow Coin. So anything else I'm missing?
I'd like to thank Dr. David Koenig and UCS Advisors. He's also one of our partners who will be there with us. And then Triumph Law as well.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they've been key to what we've been doing.
And a big shout out to Brian Lopez, who's not only a partner and a dear friend, but he's been very instrumental in helping us develop our POS and several opportunities. So can't wait to see you, maybe sing some U2 Thursday night. He's a bona fide cover singer of every U2 song ever written. Rick, would you have any other final thoughts?
I'm excited to have the team all together here for this event because most of you know we all work remote. First time some of us even met Steve in person. He's always been a disembodied voice on the end of a Zoom call. So we're excited to be able to spend the time with everybody. We cultivate for a reason. Our early adopters, our partners, our investors, our point holders. It's grown into something that we're all really proud to say we've got some ownership in.
True bi-coastal company coming together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey.
And with that, we want to say thank you once again for your continued support of WeGro. Without our community, without your continued support, we would not be here. This company was started for altruistic reasons. We talk about it all the time, that there's a heart and soul, that the purpose and what we do here at WeGro is a whole lot more than the sum total of those things that we do every day. It's the people behind it and the souls behind it. So we can't thank you guys enough for supporting us and being a part of that soul. And with that, thank you for joining us for this week's AMA. And we will be back not too long from now. You'll look for announcements, understanding there's a lot going on. There's a lot of really cool things happening in the background. Again, if you want to join us for We Cultivate, our event this Thursday night, please reach out, and we'll be back soon with more information about our upcoming AMAs. Thank you.
Been a pleasure. Exhale.